So this re-summarizes the history that apparently this state of Qin capital was founded in 350 BC, apparently after the Western Zhou dynasty. Reforms were instituted, making it a stronger and stronger state. But in 221 BC, the king Yingshen, who became later Qinshihuangdi, united the whole land for the first time and called himself emperor as the first emperor, ending that warring states period, I guess, or the period. Yeah, I think it was the Warring States period. So this was a bronze of the Western Zhou, who occupied the Northern Wei River area. They were a nomadic people, and this is, I keep getting myself confused, but apparently that Zhou period preceded the autumn and spring and then the Warring States period, which was about 550 years prior to 221 BC. In the Warring States period, but a delicate piece, a pretty roof tile. This apparently is a reproduction of whatever it is. Looks like it might have had a longer handle, wooden handle installed in it. Relatively small iron spade. Again, in its time it was probably pretty precious. We treat iron as a commodity today. Rather, we treat steel, a much superior form of metal, as a commodity today. These were excavated from the Xianyang workshops area. You can see that was a pretty deadly weapon called a halberd, which I believe is a weapon, but it's a knife on the left and pointy knife, and then a razor knife on the right. This is a wine heater, which is, I've not known that you heated wine. Can't you just imagine this vessel filled with some delicious meal, and we lift off the top by that ring? And this is an imperial edict of the Qin dynasty, and I'll get down to the detail so you can see how obviously it could have been used. These are interestingly called gold coins. So standardization was not an issue. Perhaps the inscriptions were, and then its value was in its weight in material, in this instance gold. This is interesting because apparently it's a coin in the shape of a knife. Who would have thunk? And this is just a bronze weight, probably a paperweight. I think this is that same item. So I'm now in the inner courtyard of the museum. And explore down the left side, and then the right side, and then the far end. And here on these posts just seem to be a variety of these, whether they were stele or just fence posts like we've seen before, I don't know. Posts that lined a bridge, other than the one at the end which has a hole in it. The others don't seem to have any mechanism for tying themselves together in a wall. The buildings are lovely, if nothing else, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I mean, it's a pleasure being in such buildings. Yeah, I'll just capsulize this. 15 miles away from today's city is where the original Xianyang was, on the Wei River, or the Wei River, and the mountain Xiuzong on the north. Sometime after 351, the king Xiaowang built a bridge across the Wei River, connecting the south and the north of Jiang City. Then Emperor Qinshihuangdi unified the whole nation. He continued to enlarge the capital, with imperial palaces, a large population living in it, and imperial roads built everywhere to connect the capital with prefectures and the frontiers. Unfortunately, at the end of the Qin dynasty, Zhang Yu led his soldiers into Xianyang and set fire to the palaces, destroying everything. Apparently these are remnants of frescoes, the earliest frescoes found in China. It seems to allude to panels that we might see, but maybe they're elsewhere.